I'm Angelena, here with the one and only, the amazing Lynx, founding member of Random Order, singer-songwriter, and a huge advocate for transgender rights. Welcome, Lynx.
Thank you, Angelena. It's great to see you again.
I know. So we met in 2014?
I think so.
2014, when I was here last time, and we just hit it off. We met at a cafe and we got talking about our music, and that was the connection. Instantly we're like, oh my gosh, show me, get on YouTube, and started subscribing to each other's channels.
That's right.
And since then you have just exploded. I don't even know where to start. Shall we start with your amazing hit, Black Lipstick Kiss? Congratulations on all that success.
Thank you so much. Yes, that song is, got me all over the world, really.
Didn't you just get back from Budapest?
I did. Yes.
Okay, so tell me how it all began. So it was entered into a film festival as part of the movie.
What I did was I entered, a journalist from, I think Canada, but I think she lives in Australia.
Right.
For Rhythms Magazine. She works for Rhythms Magazine. And she said, oh, you should submit your video to this Right Out TV and Music Awards. And they're based out of Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And it got nominated for Best DIY. And then it was brought to the attention of a director who was also a judge in another category. And the person that recommended the song said to her, this song would be perfect for your film. And so then she contacted me, and we went from there, and I said yes. And I went to LA for the premiere and met the director. And
how amazing!
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I was at the Directors Guild of America.
Oh my gosh, Lynx!
Yeah.
It really just seemed to take on its own organic, natural path, don't you think?
It did. It really did.
It snowballed.
It snowballed because what happened was it came to Canada, and it screened in Kingston, and I contacted the director there, and I said, hey, my song is featured in the film. Would you be interested in having me come and perform? And he said yes. And so this was also the beginning of my solo adventure of touring with the film. So then I sent the director a message and said, hey, send me wherever the film goes to, and I'll, if I can, I'll go, and I'll do it. And,
absolutely.
So it ended up that she would go to some places and I would be going to the others. It just worked out that way. And that film toured for 2 years as an indie film.
That's unusual.
Really unusual.
It's normally 1 year.
That's
I'm
right.
6 months in with my documentary now, and I'm now looking at distribution options.
That's right.
But I'm thinking a year for myself, but 2. That's how successful it was.
Yes, and
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It won 9 awards, including an award for Best Original Song out of Germany, which I was so ecstatic.
You have a huge following in Europe, I have to say.
Europe.
They're one of your biggest markets, aren't they?
They are, and I've been there. I toured with a previous album there as well, and we keep getting back to coming back for these festivals, and it's really good. Yeah.
I love how musicians and art can have it can resonate in certain parts of the world too. For example, as you say, Europe have really embraced you, and you just got back from Budapest as well.
Right, yeah.
So tell me about that trip.
Oh my God, that was amazing. So again, as a result of the film, because they're all connected. The people that work in the film and they work in the music, doing events, they all know each other, right? In a community, and so I had messaged the Budapest Pride Festival, and they said, we love your music, we want you to come and headline. And I was like, I'm there.
What date do I need to be in town? I'm there.
So I went.
Exactly.
I went for just that show, but I decided to book 2 weeks to go, and I ended up performing 5 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing.
And I ended up speaking at one of the associated events was called the Rainbow Conference, and it was from about Nordic culture and European culture in the history of LGBTQ, right? Artists, musicians, poets, everything. And so I really wanted to go to this because I thought, well, this sounds really interesting. I can go, check this out. And as soon as I walked in, they were so nice, and they said, introduce yourself. So I did, and they're like, oh, you're Canadian, that's fantastic. And
you're being embraced for that too. Everybody loves
my
Canadians.
God. And then I told them about, why I was there. I was there to perform, and it was because of this film. So this conference was a 2-day conference, and then the next day I ended up going as well and being invited to actually speak about being one of the first people in the trans march in Toronto, which was first started in 2009, and it was illegal. It was considered an illegal march, and it remained illegal for a few years. And so there was like 6 of us that just did it, and we were like, this is who we are, and we're going to do this, and we should be able to do this within the Pride community, right? So it was a really big deal.
So brave of you, though, Lynx. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me to think that it was illegal.
Well, they were shocked.
This time, in this day and age, are we still there, you guys? Like,
I know,
come
right?
on, like, can't we all be ourselves?
Exactly.
Why do we have to be fighting for these rights? But how do you think, how far have we come in these, like, last, say, 5-6 years?
I think really far. I mean, I like, in terms of what's happening with the backlash of politics in some countries, that doesn't surprise me. I knew that was going to happen like a really long time ago, because if you look at Berlin and what happened with that situation, it was very similar, right? It was like a real free society, and then all of a sudden, bam, right? Somebody else needs to come in and do something different. So, it was. I think we've come a long way, and at the same time, there's still a lot of work that has to be done. And I don't even know if I would call it work, just education,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you think the key elements are? Because at the end of the day, it's fear that divides all of us, right? It's fear. A fear of the unknown, fear of something that we don't understand, or someone's different. Instead of just celebrating our diversity and letting us all be who we are. We're all beautiful no matter what we do or how we express ourselves.
That's right.
So what do you think the key elements are?
I think one of the key elements is to actually try to find the common ground with people. Like, what do you have in common? And I think that's just inherent. Like, people want to know things. They want to, like, I can start up a conversation with just about anybody, and I can figure out in 2 minutes or less what we have in common, and then we talk about that. And as soon as they try to start talking about something else, I just shift the subject, right? It's like, I just met you, I'm not talking to you about that, we're going to talk about this, right? And and I think as far as just on a day-to-day basis, that's how I roll. And I travel all over the world, and it's the same thing, right? Everywhere.
What's the same as me? I think when you have traveled as well and you've met people from all walks of life, and that is the crux of my show, is celebrating all of us.
Yes.
All walks of life, all cultures, all age groups, all different looking people. Everybody has something beautiful about themselves.
Right. Yes.
And celebrating the uniqueness.
Yes.
And the differences. But at the end of the day, we're more similar than we're different.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
We're all human beings, right? On a journey, on a special journey here on this planet. And we should respect each other.
And it's not to say that we shouldn't be, looking at the issues and trying to solve them. I prefer to, come up with solutions rather than, dwell on the problems. And I think that's, it's like, for instance, every year I do a performance at City Hall in Toronto for the Trans Day of Remembrance Memorial.
And that was just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's
how did that go?
Oh, it's amazing. It's totally amazing. It's just to acknowledge. They show all the names of the people who have been murdered, and all. It's like, it's a moment of silence and reflection. But it's really good because it brings the politicians come and give speeches, and people from the community, and then after that it's a big celebration.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you just hit something right there when you said it's political. I mean, I think most of the problems in this world stem from the governments, and it's politically driven. For example, in Australia, we just had to do a voluntary vote. They sent us a ballot paper in the mail, and to say whether we think that gays can get married? Should they legalize it? And all my friends were all just saying, are we really here in 2017 that
It's bizarre.
the law should have already been passed?
Wow.
And it was a big deal. It was all over our television.
Never heard of this. It's very bizarre.
Luckily, I can actually say that it actually went through as yes. That was the consensus of Australia.
Who did they think they were giving the ballots to?
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
Did they know that they were giving it to LGBTQs, as well as their allies and as well as people against and for? And do you know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense.
And we had TV commercials like for and against, and it was like, don't buy into the fear, and you have the right to say no. And I just thought in 2017 we're still not as evolved as I would hope that we'd be at this point in time in history. But the good news is things are changing.
Yes.
I think we're in a time of a revolution. What do you think?
I absolutely. I mean, the things. Everything that's happened in the last few years. Well, I mean, I told you about my remix and why I changed the lyrics.
Yeah.
And it was because a lot of people were getting really upset about what was happening here in North America, and it just made me make the song "Black Lipstick Kiss." It has a little dark side. It made me want to restructure it to be more uplifting, so that so that people would feel good. And, I repeat love over and over and over in the song, which isn't in the original, right? And it was solely something that happened organically. Like, I didn't think it out ahead of time. I was just like, I really want people to feel good. I want people to get act. I want catharsis to happen. And I want to build confidence in people.
You're an inspiration, Lynx. As soon as we met, I just remember thinking you're just such a kind spirit. And the more I've learned about you and what you're doing, I think you're such a positive role model. You're such an amazing advocate. But as you say, the message at the end of the day is love, unity, harmony, and you use your art to shed that light, and you're inspiring a lot of people. Do you know that?
No, I didn't. I just do it. I just do what I do,
Yeah, but you do it from your heart, and I think that's why.
I don't really think about it, I know that if I can help someone, if I can help them with a health situation, physical, mental, whatever, if I have some information or some way of being that I think would help somebody, then I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm just gonna do it. I can't help myself, and I think honestly, there's a lot of people who get sucked into the negativity around what's happening, and I say, well, do what you can do. Focus on what you can do.
It's so true. And you have a documentary trip, a little road trip, well, not a little one, a big one, planned for Mexico. When are you leaving?
Next week. What? Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's my first time to Mexico, and there's a record label there, and we met here, and we've been partnered ever since, and so we've been helping each other, and
fabulous.
Yeah, and so now we're going to do a little road trip together and go around and probably busk and do some little club shows and some big club shows and
film the whole
thing.
Trip.
Yeah, we're going to film the whole trip from like the. I'm gonna. That's right. Yeah, right from the get-go.
I love it.
Photos, video, and.
Are you going to be shooting a film clip as well?
I think so. It's just gonna be right off the the iPhones, like down and dirty, right? But
don't you love that though? Technology is such a gift now.
It's fantastic.
It's
so
easy.
Self-sufficient.
I bought myself my first ever selfie stick for this trip. This trip, my friend back in Sydney said, "You've got one, don't you?" And I said, "No." She goes, "You have to.
You have to.
You cannot go without one."
You taught me how to work it because
it's the
I
best.
just got one too.
Did you?
Yeah. So remember I asked you, I said I never knew what that button was
Same.
for.
I didn't know how. Yeah, me too. I was a little bit selfie stick illiterate, but now I'm on top of it.
Selfie stick illiterate. I like that.
No, well, you've got to pack that in your suitcase.
It's in already. I've already got it in. I've been packing since last week.
Love that.
So excited.
Oh, you should be, and all your fans are going to be able to connect. You're going to be posting live, like Facebook feeds, and
definitely.
Yeah. Keep everyone in the loop of what's going on.
Keep it going, yeah.
Sounds
keep it
like
going.
You're going to end this year on a high.
I am.
By the sounds of it.
And I'm fully confident that next year's going to be even better.
I've got the same feeling.
Yeah, and the last 2 years have been great.
This year's been amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I know I was so happy to see your film winning awards, and
thank you, Lynx.
it's important. It's important stuff.
Well, it's funny because I just never would have thought that it would happen.
That's right.
Like,
You just
I
do
think
it.
that's the best surprise too.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I can't wait to share it.
I'd also like to acknowledge that we're doing this in Duff's Tavern. They've
Yes.
kindly let us to use the space.
I know. All the staff here are beautiful.
Yes.
And so kind, as you say, that they've let us have this time
space.
here.
Yeah, for the interview.
And they make, I have to say, the best wings that I've ever had in Toronto.
they're famous.
Yeah, it's Duff's Famous Wings.
Famous
So everybody that comes to Toronto, you have to come to Duff's.
And the film that my song is in is S&M Sally.
Yes.
And
Yeah, go check that out. Where can people see that?
you can stream it. It's all over, really. Like it's.
Yeah, you just do a Google search and up it
you
comes.
just Google search S&M Sally
And where can everybody find your music
my
links?
music. Also, if you Google the title track "Black Lipstick Kiss,"
Yeah.
that'll come up with everything.
I love it. I love your songs.
Thank you.
What's on your mind as well. They're really catchy.
Thank you.
And I love the horns, and it's got really good energy.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So what's coming up for you? What's, apart from this documentary trip, what's next?
More music videos.
Yep.
Yeah, vampires and zombies.
Yeah.
More songs and film.
Yeah.
Doing some different styles of music, like when I meet up with in Mexico, we're gonna do like a little bit of reggaeton over one of my other songs. Yeah, so we're just experimenting.
And
Yeah,
that's the beauty of traveling too, is that you do get new inspirations from different locations.
exactly. And that's
And as an artist, that's what you want. It's gold.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm super stoked. Do what you love to do. Like I think that's the important thing. I think if you can figure out even the smallest things you love to do, whatever makes you feel good and happy, that's what you should do. On a daily basis if you can.
100% agree. It is about doing something that makes your heart sing, literally.
Yeah, literally.
I know we were just saying before we started rolling the cameras that a lot of people get into the arts and the industry for the wrong reasons.
Right, yes.
And they become bitter and disillusioned. And I think it's important, if you don't love what you're doing,
Yeah.
then every day is going to be an uphill battle.
Great.
Thank you so much, Lynx, for your time.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you again.
And wishing you continued success.
Likewise.
Good luck on this road trip. I can't wait to see the documentary.
See your sequel.
Oh, thank you.
This sequel, I guess.
Yeah, this one.
This one
And
right
looking
here.
forward to more new, amazing songs from you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you, Lynx. Take care.